let's face it, sometimes life is really, really, really challenging. It's especially challenging when we start to realize the way we live is actually not in alignment with who we are. Let me say this again. The pain comes in when we start to recognize that the way we show up, the way we speak, the way we act is not in alignment with who we are. We are waking up to a new awareness. We are waking up to a new us, to a new self, right? It's a kind of a new version that we are creating and that we start to see and feel within ourselves. People around us will probably get confused because we start to do things differently. We start to act out, maybe. We start to kind of peel the layers back, okay? We start to change our behavior, change our patterns, change our view. And this oftentimes is so challenging because it feels like we are dying, literally. Because what we are doing is we are taking off layers that we once identified ourselves with. So if you identify yourself with something and you're saying, this is me, this is who I am, I'm behaving this or this, then it's so hard for us to let go, because this is also what gave us as some sort of certainty, some sort of safety, okay? And realizing that this is actually normal when we feel the sensation we want to run away. It's normal to feel scared. It's normal to needing a break during those time periods, because it's a kind of a grief process too. We are grieving because something is ending, something is rebirthing, right? But we have an extreme amount of grief inside of us when we start to let go. And unfortunately, being human, that's normal. It's normal to let something die, kind of, and using that ashes, if you so want, and getting it growing again, okay? But from the soil that is actually working for us, okay? And so I feel like many people are blaming themselves, are pushing themselves for not doing better, for not being faster, for not moving on quicker, you know? And I have so much compassion for you. It's okay if you are taking another turn and if you're going again around it, you know? It's normal. It's completely normal. It's normal that we are not right away, I don't know, able to let go, right? Able to deal with challenging times right in a second. We don't have to. We are not here to say bye to grief in like 2 seconds, right? Grief, for example, is a process where this could take a long period of time, and it's totally fine if we are experiencing that. I feel though the way how we grieve, the way how we let go, the way how we want to transform, want to move on is oftentimes very limited. I feel like we try to just somehow talk, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we put it out in words and then we expect it to somewhat go away. Like the pain needs to go away then, right? That's the idea we have. The idea of, if I make sense enough, if my brain finally gets the point, we are done now, I can let go. How often have you actually met somebody where that worked? I mean, I'm just curious because we are still in this zone where people are told to just talk about it. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but that never worked for me. I mean, there is some points, right? There is some points where I'm like, okay, this gave me or brought me some awareness, right? I could sense that something is turning, and sometimes that's important to build some kind of structure where you're like, okay, I can work with this. But that's a very limited view. And as soon as something is showing up, it will not work anymore because it blows up your whole structure. And it's like, okay, I start from scratch, right? Because it didn't really fully work for me. And so here it actually comes. I feel like we need to learn how to work with our body. I feel like many of us have forgotten how powerful our body is, you know, working with our body on when we can actually release that energy, when we are actually able to let go, right? We are not listening to our body, we don't even sense it, right? We have pain, oh, painkiller, right? We feel physical pain, painkillers to deal. And I'm not saying that that has not its value. It's the question of, are you sure that this is actually really working? Because maybe it's returning over and over again. And the question would be, is there maybe more behind it? Is there more to explore? Is there more to experience? You know, do I need to get more in touch with my body? Do I need to actually find more ways to heal than talk? Is there a way where I can show up differently? Right? I highly suggest to do like sound baths, to do energy cleansings, to do shamanic journeys, right? I mean, all of that. I feel like we lost a lot of wisdom and we are here to gain it back, to receive it back. It's not that our body doesn't remember, it's we forgot. We forgot. And so there is a lot of wisdom actually lying in those practices, and we just tuned it back to, I take a pill or I just talk, right? And maybe that's already difficult. Maybe that's already super, super difficult for people, right? But we gotta understand that our body needs a spiritual hygiene, right? There are so many people around who are very, very sensitive and they're actually collecting a lot of stuff. We gotta learn to work with our body and to fully cleanse this whole stuff out, right? To fully let go of not just the pain that we sense in this very moment, but like in our environment, right? Making sure that we have our hygiene up, right? A very, very easy practice, and it doesn't even take that long, is like you're going to the shower. And I mean, you're probably gonna do that in the morning or in the evening, right? Where you're showering, but you start to also imagine that you're fully cleansed from the physical aspect, from the mental aspect, from the spiritual aspect, and from the emotional aspect. You start to realize, okay, I'm probably more than just this body, right? This beautiful body. I'm probably more, right? And I could probably work with something else and I could just try it out because there is not really much to lose. There is not much that you will miss if you are not doing it, or maybe it's not working for you in the beginning. See, it's the understanding that we are all connected. It's the understanding that we are not just individuals, right? We are also connected. There is like this sense of self, and there is this sense of we. And when you are coming in a room, you can kind of sense like what's the vibe in here, right? You kind of feel that. You can feel how the energy is. Is it a happy one? Is it a little dense one? You can sense that. We all can to a certain degree. And thinking that nothing of this is affecting you might be worth to consider one more time. Might be worth to rethink that structure that we have like this. Okay? When we start to work on our patternings, on our behaviors, we also need to notice when our emotions, our inner being, our inner world is changing, and when does it change? What are those thoughts, those emotions that are coming in, and actually, are they all mine? Are they all mine? Do they really belong to me? Did I create them? When did I create that? Right? Like, I feel often we are so limited and so closed in believing this is healing, and if this doesn't work, then nothing works. And I'm like, no, we gotta open up to more possibilities. We gotta open up to more ideas of how we can heal. It's very individual, and oftentimes not everyone needs the same, right? For me, it was something like I needed to be more connected with the earth, right? I needed to be more connected with the all and everything. Very, very challenging for me because I didn't grow up like this. So I never really trusted that, and I never really wanted to experience it, right? I had very big judgment on doing something different because I didn't know. And so I have so much compassion for everyone who feels like I don't really feel well trying that out under the shower and setting the intention to fully cleanse my being. I get it. The truth is, no one will watch you. See, you will see after a couple of times of trying and tuning into that, does it actually help me? Right? Do it a couple of times. There are so many more strategies on what you can do to really ground yourself, to claim your power, right? And with claiming your power, I don't mean to overpower someone else. I mean to have the ground to say, for example, no to something you don't want to do because it doesn't align with who you are, without any further explanation. Oftentimes, though, we do need some kind of practices in place. We do need some kind of spiritual practices that help us ground, right? I love to be embodied and to have all those wisdom that is just out here embodied, right? Like often we see people who enter into these realms, they want to stay there, they want to experience all of that, and I feel like that's for me kind of sad, because this experience here is actually quite a good one, right? So I ask you to bring this down to the earth. I ask you to bring the knowledge that you are gaining from meditation, from those practices, down to the earth. Bring it back, bring it home here. Try to bring it home with you. This is not about you're leaving it there. It's about you're opening up your own inner world, and you start to see that the universe is actually right here with you. This is your gateway, right? And this is when things really shifted for me, when I started to see that my patternings are not who I am. My ways of thinking really changed, and I could see that I could simply shift when I go into another perspective, and I saw that there are so many more things that I want to explore and that I want to see, and I can only invite you to do exactly what is right for you, right? Try it out. Do that thing under the shower. Go to the forest and hug a tree. Start to be more present to what is. Start to be so fully honest with yourself on where you stand and who you are. It's going to liberate you on so many levels that you will actually be able to navigate way more easily. You know, things don't need to be so heavy, right? They don't. They don't need to be so heavy. But in the beginning, and maybe in between sometimes, you know, we have this, oh, it's so hard, right? But you can do it. You can do it, you know. Your mission that you're on, you're capable in doing whatever you're meant to do. You're capable so much more than you are thinking right now. There's so much potential lying right in front of you, and you can do it. You're built for that, right? That's what I often hear from people when they start to work on themselves and they start to see, okay, I can do this. I can step up for myself. I really, really do hope that this video supported you in some way. If you want to dive deeper, then have a look into below description. Sometimes there is actually an offer available. I believe right now there might be none. Regardless, keep an eye on that, or you could join the newsletter, where I do share probably every second week something new about the new video, about the new offer. Yeah, feel free to come and join and subscribe to this channel, right? So it gets spread a little bit more and helps and supports other people around the globe. With that said, thank you so much. Much love to you. Bye bye.